Candace, we don't have to get into it. Candace released yesterday what she's claiming is signal chats of all the...
Okay, so let's do Charlie Kirk.
Guess what just happened right now? And I just sent it to you.
And Charlie
Andrew
Kirk
Kovic said that the conversation was real. FYI, Connor.
So, Connor, could you pull that up while I jump into? Because I
second.
haven't seen any of that, Vinny, but I appreciate you bringing it to my attention.
Right, he just put it out.
So the reason that we had Charlie Kirk in this episode was because there are new surveillance videos that have surfaced of the alleged assassin, if you believe the official narrative. Newly obtained surveillance video shows 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, the alleged shooter in Charlie Kirk's killing, stopping at a Maverick gas station in Cedar City, Utah at about 7:15 a.m. on September 11th. So this is less than 24 hours after the killing of Charlie Kirk. The surveillance footage captured Tyler Robinson driving a Dodge Challenger. Robinson paid by credit card, pumped gas, and left within minutes. The reason why this is coming up is because Cedar City police reviewed the footage after a tip suggested that Tyler Robinson may have dumped evidence in a trash can at the gas station. Investigators say the video shows he never approached the trash cans. Robinson returned to the UVU area after the shooting to try and retrieve a stashed rifle, and he exchanged messages with his roommate and others implying guilt and describing plans to recover the weapon. We've talked about the text messages. We've run them through different AI softwares. I've talked to countless people on Minect about this. I have never been able to get two independent or separate AI softwares ever to give me the same exact answer in any circumstance or situation in the 2 or 3 years that I've been using AI, except for when we copied the text messages that Tyler Robinson allegedly sent his transgendered furry lover and put it into ChatGPT and asked if they were authentic. It is the only time that I've gotten both ChatGPT and Grok
at the same
to agree that no, it seems authentic and scripted. Never, ever has AI ever agreed, but that's the one time that it did. Now, that brings us to the breaking news. By the way, it's weird that they were checking in the trash cans for evidence. I thought police had already gotten all of the evidence. So why would they need to check surveillance footage to see if he dumped anything if they already knew everything, because they had already captured his cell phones, captured the phone, captured George Zinn, a guy that we don't even talk about right now. That's the weirdest thing to me at all.
Why
is that old man standing up and waving a white hat? Why is that man screaming, shoot me? Why is he admitting to having child porn on his phone? But more importantly, why is a 70-year-old man at the UVU campus for what looks like a debate with college students? We've been to Turning Point USA events. We've been to the Student Action Summit. I've never seen anybody over the age of 50 or 60 at these events. Occasionally, you'll see people, organizers, maybe donors.
Mostly speakers.
But but like, why would that guy be there in the first place?
And at 9/11 and having ties to the Boston. Like, are we...
100%.
Guys, when are we, as just Americans, going to say enough with this bullshit? Like, stop lying to us. We're not stupid. Going back to Cash and all them. The official narrative, nobody believes you. I'm going to say that one more time. Nobody believes you. Nobody. You don't even believe yourself. Okay? Nothing is adding up. All right? I want to see the footage that was behind Charlie. God rest his soul. We deserve him that. We need to look at everything. The construction, forget it. If there's a bullet, we're not finding that shit. It's over. It's over. So what we're going to show, Rob, is Candace yesterday, because Candace is the loudest voice that's been going after everybody from TP USA. I sent this to Humberto yesterday too. She just shared a screenshot yesterday of a group chat where Charlie Kirk explicitly said he was leaving the pro-Israel cause 48 hours before he was assassinated. And what they're saying, they're implicating is allegedly Rob McCoy, Josh Hammer, and 6 others were in the chat. Connor, can you play this clip?
Take a look. So Charlie writes in this group chat, just lost another huge Jewish donor, $2 million a year because we won't cancel Tucker. I'm thinking of inviting Candace. Somebody writes, oh.
Long.
Charlie writes, Jewish donors play into all of the stereotypes. I cannot and will not be bullied like this, leaving me no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause. And somebody writes, a donor writes, please do not invite Candace. That might feel good short term, but it's not good long term. In my opinion, like all groups, you're going to get a wide variety of opinions. That nasty free will thing that God bestowed on us makes life frustrating at times after the dust settles a bit, maybe. So again, this is 48 hours before Charlie Kirk was assassinated. He was very clear and he was very explicit, and he did not back down, not in that Hamptons meeting, which they're all lying about, nor in this text thread. I'm not going to reveal the names of the other 7. Actually, you know what? I disagree with myself 4 seconds ago. Let's just throw in Josh Hammer for funsies. He's on this chat, okay?
So why were they all saying that this wasn't happening? Weren't they claiming that?
I mean, I still have no. Okay, so we have the clip of Andrew Colvert from Turning
Colvert,
Point, allegedly
he just said something.
saying those messages are
this just happened
legit.
This is when October 7th.
This was just today.
Okay, 12:52
on the show.
All right, go ahead.
We can take a look at this and then we'll discuss.
Okay.
Charlie was loyal to people that he had shared history with, right? He was asked, I think this may be what you were about to say, Blake. He was asked about Candace before in public, and he would always say, listen, we're friends. He would never say an ill word about her. And if people, tried to force him to do that about Tucker or whatever, he would always be defiant because he didn't want to be morally blackmailed.
Exactly. Charlie was loyal to people who had ever been friends to him, whether it was very old donors or just people who had worked with Turning Point.
Yeah.
And as long as they were not attacking him, he would not air any dirty laundry or, frankly, any disagreements he had with people. He did disagree with Candace on the Israel issue. He disagreed with Tucker on the Israel issue. But he also recognized Tucker had positions they agreed on. Tucker was a useful voice in the conservative movement on many things. And so he invited him to events, and they were popular events. And so he would react. Sometimes people would just say, yeah, don't invite him or we're going to, cut off some large donation. And that would make him angry. He would say this, as you say, this is moral blackmail. And he's this Scottish guy. He's combative. His reaction to that is, the classic screw me, no, screw you. That sort of thing.
He had this, and it's one of my favorite parts about Charlie is just how defiant and independent he was.
Yeah,
he was never going to
be. He could not be controlled by other people.
You could not buy him. He was not bought and paid for. You could not control him with money. It just wasn't the way he was wired. He didn't actually care about money that much.
And so what's going on here? What is going on here? You guys can look up what the text say. What is going on is Charlie, as I mentioned, he loved Israel. He cared about Israel. He cared about the Holy Land. And he was aware there was a surge of anti-Israel sentiment on the right. Charlie thought seriously about this issue and was trying to chart a path forward for people who were sympathetic to Israel. He was playing the good cop here. He was saying, you guys don't realize how bad it could potentially get. Mm-hmm. You have to change your PR. That's why he writes a letter to Bibi. You are losing the PR war. You need to change how you do your PR. You need to change your messaging to the American right. You might need to change what you expect from us, that you're not going to be able to count on just, for example, unlimited military aid from America. That's just not going to be tenable going forward. So maybe it has to be a more passive relationship. Maybe you need to give more support towards America. Some more support towards America in, for example, opposing Islamic migration into America. That's one thing he thought we could ally on. And he was trying to do all of this because he cared about the relationship and wanted to chart a way forward on it. And he would feel angry and upset when people would react to this.
One, I want him just to, they're trying to break it down and try to break down what he was saying. But bro, he said, leaving me no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause. He's saying that in a group chat with a bunch of other people. And they're saying, please don't invite Candace. That might lead to short term, but it's not good long term. So everything that she was saying about this group text and these conversations, it's kind of proving her point because she's bringing receipts.
Well, she also has been in touch with both, I believe, the shooter, Tyler Robinson's family, as well as his furry love and tranny boyfriend.
Who disappeared.
Yeah, we haven't seen, who we also haven't heard from, George Zinn. This is why people will ask me on Minect. By the way, you can connect with any of the people on today's panel on Minect. Their links will be in the description of today's episode. But Vinny, one of the common things I get, a guy sent me a really great video, and it's a ballistic, so it's a guy, it's on the Redacted podcast. Have you ever seen Redacted? They interview a guy who has over 40 years of digital experience.
Saw that.
Where it's,
we've seen the bullet come in.
The guy says, I've been using Photoshop since 1985 when it was Photoshop 1.07.
Yes.
I have 40 years of experience. What he does is he shows the bullet trajectory through the cameras that were used to capture a different angle of Charlie Kirk, which shows that according to this guy, and he goes, I'm not a ballistics expert, but I can tell you I know everything about film. I know everything about video. and I can break down the frames in this video and show you that there is an object moving from
Coming
behind,
in from behind
Charlie and out his neck. So the one thing I keep getting asked, people send me this stuff on my neck. They sent me the video, and I was like, that's very interesting. I've never seen that before. I don't know if we'll ever know who killed Charlie Kirk. I think we're going to have to get to the point where, like many of these conspiratorial conversations, you're going to have to get to a place where you're okay with the truth that you believe. And I know that sucks. It feels like a defeatist attitude. But I don't know if we're ever, like, they could come out today and be like, you know what? Turns out Israel did it, and we're rounding up everybody, and we're going to arrest them. Then there are going to be people like, yeah, but Qatar actually are the ones that did it. I don't know if we're ever going to be able to get to the truth of this.
Well, look how long it, dude. JFK. We all know that the Warren Commission, the Warren Report was all bullshit. It's still, we're this far, 60-some years, and they're not telling us what we already know, bro. We already know. People have written books, from Roger Stone to Lyndon B. Johnson to all the people that were involved, okay? Everybody has their hands in it. These people, bro, when it comes to something like this is not a freaking white kid on the roof with a gun. This is not an entry wound. Let's just put that to bed. Let's just put that. Everybody stop talking out your ass. Oh, a bullet could have came and ricocheted. Shut up. We all know what the hell it is. It's who. But Rob, when it comes to something this high level of a hit, the layers that they put between them, you're never going to get to the culprit. That's how they roll. Bro, this is their profession. This is what they do. They're professional killers. So when you have a professional killer that works for a group or a country or whatever the case may be, you think they're going to keep it to where they just, oh, there he is in the crowd. No, they put the George Zinn, they put the furry lover, they put the roof, they put the gun, they put the screwdriver. There's so much shit to where we're just running around like with a chicken with our heads cut off. But you know what I have? It's called intuition. It's called my gut. It's called my feeling. And the majority of the people out there know that it's full of shit. When they say official narrative, you're officially full of shit. And you lost everybody. You lost everybody, Rob. And it's true. This is him saying that the text actually exists. Mm-hmm. This is it.
Started this show to address some of the things that have been going around on public, namely about a group text chain that has been made known and released by Candace Owens. And I just want to address it head on because, that was a screen grab that I had shared with people. So it is authentic. And
real.
I want to go into it because I actually am really excited that the truth is out there. Started this show to address.
That's very interesting. I've had, you could scroll through my text and I have countless text messages with Pat, with you, in a group chat. Never once have I screen grabbed them, and never once have they been released publicly. No. Now, look, obviously different scenario, different circumstances, but why would you just randomly screen grab that text message?
That moment,
well,
and
because of the conversation that's going on, largely because of Candace Owens. If you say,
yeah, but how can Candace Owens talk about a text message she didn't know existed
St. Patrick
yet?
was assassinated by parties unknown, and then suddenly there's a narrative being pushed. It was actually. The Ayatollah had a hit on Patrick for his discussion about regime change in Iran or whatever. And you were trying to disprove that. You could go through text messages and find, any relevant portion. And if you wanted to circulate them to people, you would have that ability.
So you're saying they screen grabbed that after Candace Owens started the narrative that Israel may be behind this, but then they leak it themselves?
No, because Candace doesn't. Why would Candace sit on these texts? She's been on this since 30 seconds after Charlie was shot.
Well, who? Here's my question.
So he's saying he took the screenshot himself.
Who leaked it to Candace? Because that means somebody that was in on this group chat.
Andrew Colvett was saying he took the screenshots himself, which means he took it to himself. He circulated them among people, and it got to Candace. I don't know how.
Well, that's what I'm saying and
she didn't say
what
how
I'm saying
it got
is,
to her.
this is vindicating what she said. Like the narrative is that he wasn't having anti-Israel sentiment. I'm not saying Israel did it. I don't know who the hell that. I don't know who's behind it. Let me just say that right now. Number one. Number two, what I'm saying is this is proving what she was saying, that they're all saying like, no, everything was fine with Israel. Apparently, no, it wasn't.
So two things can be true at once. You can be mad at donors and say Bibi is having a PR crisis, which is true, without turning against Israel. In the same way that we on this podcast can talk about how the evidence doesn't necessarily point to Israel being the party directly responsible without being Zionist shills Our third most viewed video of all time was us talking about the USS Liberty. That's not what you do when you're a Zionist shill.
What beat that? When we talked about Brittany Griner being a man?
And then the only one that beat that, ironically, was Ian Carroll on the show talking about Candace Owens getting fired from the Daily Wire.
And by the way, Ian just messaged me yesterday. He's in town for 2 weeks. So
Oh, we should have him on.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell him.
Yeah,
Maybe grab hot dogs with him or something like that. I don't know.
And
What
eat
an
some-
odd meal. Do you want to get
Humberto
30,000 hot dogs?
Humberto hasn't said one word this entire segment and goes, let's get hot dogs with the
No,
guy.
but I'm gonna say something important. There's rumblings that he might have done an I forgot the word when
who's
they
done
check
what?
the body after they
Autopsy.
yeah, that's what it is. So there's a spokesperson from TPUSA that because they said there wasn't
Yeah,
one
I remember,
done.
yeah.
And now there's rumblings and there's some images going around the web. Everything needs to be confirmed, but that I think that will bring new clarity to the whole situation.
And saying, well, like proving that he wasn't shot from. I want to see that camera footage. That's what I
I
want.
watched a video of this guy named Valhalla. He's an ex-marine or like a Navy SEAL, whatever. One of these special
You're meaning a
forces.
professional.
Yeah, a special forces guy.
Yeah.
All right, beard and
what'd he say?
tattoos and whatever. He says he saw the images from someone high up, and he says this completely disproves the
official narrative?
The official narrative.
Of course.
This is all allegedly. Like until we don't have an official document, because it's a very serious podcast. We won't disclose it.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Regardless of what they disclose or what information comes out, say we
No,
get-
but these
say we get- say
these
we-
are legal documents.
No, I'm saying,
you know,
but
like,
say we get a
it's serious
full
stuff.
autopsy, a full coroner's report on everything that happened to Charlie. Who's going to believe it at this point? You're just going to assume everybody's lying to you.
Because they lied from the beginning.
Yeah, the Jews got their hooks into the people down at the medical examiner's office and are lying about the autopsy. You could get all the camera footage, and then the narrative is just going to be, oh, they did to that what they did to the Zapruder footage of the Kennedy assassination. They cut out frames, they spliced in things. Sora just got so good they can make whole AI videos. No one will believe anything because the narrative has been running on its own. Like, go figure. The lady who sees Jews behind every tree and bush suddenly sees Israel behind the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Like, everybody saw what they wanted to see with this. You have to overlook so much evidence about leftist violence, organized transgender leftist Antifa violence, where they go out and they do trainings for this exact thing. There's a lot of questions about how Tyler Robinson pulled this off if it was him. And it seems like he had help. He had an elaborate network of people lined up to help him. But that doesn't mean you have to look for Mossad snipers down in tunnels shooting up at Charlie with exploding lapel mics.
ridiculous.
Like, this is the problem of when the bottom falls out of reality and suddenly everything is on the table and there's no sense of what's real and what's fake anymore. It's impossible to construct a narrative anyone believes because we try to come somewhere close to an answer and no, you're just covering for whatever group I already didn't like. It doesn't make any sense.
But it doesn't help when you are told by the Department of when the FBI and the people that we're supposed to entrust, which I lost all trust in, tell you from the beginning that the official narrative is official, and guess what? We all know it's bullshit.
Yeah, and
there's
on that
no
much we
way.
can agree.
There's no way that bullet was the 30-06. There's no way he took it apart in 5 seconds and ran. There's no way he jumped with a gun in his leg and it snapped. So if they're lying, who are you protecting? Who are you covering up? So the moment, Connor, that happens, the moment the top trusted people, the number one law enforcement people lie, and we know that you're lying, that's when all that stuff happens.
so
that's
like-
when people say it's Israel. That's when they say it's Mossad. That's when so that's your fault. Your fault. You're making people like this. They're making more Candace Owens every single day.
Yeah.
So if you like this clip, click right here. And if you want to see more like it, click right here. Stay angry, Patriots.